Hey guys, thanks for joining me, and if you like what you see, please subscribe.
Hello, peoples. Welcome to Sharp Ends. I have something special to share with you. The Hultafors GK Heavy Duty Knife, Morakniv, 15 bucks. Maybe it was 16 bucks. It's a little fixed blade, and you know my love for the Morakniv. Both of these are linked down below to Amazon. If you happen to use that link, it will help the channel. So first, this guy, high polymer, hard polymer handle, right? And the ergos are great. By the way, it's shipped like this. There's no box. I didn't get a box for this. So this just came straight out. And I haven't used it. So this is basically my first impressions of it. Scandi grind, obviously. High carbon steel. Carbon steel says 211. The finish on it's actually pretty good. And it is definitely sharp for it's got a secondary bevel for the Scandi, I think, but that's okay. Really high belly right here. The ergos are really good. What's good about a small fixed blade like this is that you don't mind losing it and you can use it for hard use. Now, I did a little reading up on this and it has a 3/4 tang. I think the tang goes all the way back to here. So the balance on this actually is okay. It's not going to fall forward on you. The spine here looks almost like the blade was pressed out, but I know it wasn't. But it's sharp. Definitely going to be able to throw a spark. One side, actually, this side is a little bit more rounded than this side. So if I was going to be using this a lot for making fires, I'd probably go ahead and throw this on a belt sander and sand it up a little bit. There's a lot of belly to this tip, and I think if we look at the Morakniv, actually, yeah, so it has more belly than the Morakniv. And I believe that it's more, yeah, there's more of an acute angle here on the secondary bevel than with the Mora. The Mora is also a $15 knife, and you can tell that I've used the crap out of this one. It's a great little knife. Again, about 15 bucks. Point is super sharp. The thickness of both of these blades continues down to the tip of the knife, making the tip very strong. But I believe that it's actually a little bit thicker on this heavy duty Hultafors. I haven't used this yet for batoning or other things, but I believe it's going to be great for it. There is always a place in a person's life for a cheap little fixed blade like this for $15. You really can't go wrong. Having it around in a utility, as a utility knife in a toolkit or whatever, this thing is going to be great, and it's going to hold its edge for a very long time. This Mora I've never sharpened, and it still feels extraordinarily sharp, and I've banged the crap out of this. Just curious, will it still cut paper? So there's places on it where it's catching, and it's not cutting too well. But again, this is a Scandi grind, right? Let's try this guy out, the new one. Oh yeah, very easy to cut paper with it. So but again, this I usually use for chopping kindling and stuff like that. I think that well, I don't know for sure. This is the Mora Robust. And both of these come with extruded plastic knife sheaths. This is the Pro Robust C, made in Sweden. And this guy doesn't say where it's made. I would have guessed that it was also Sweden, but maybe I'm wrong. This belt clip here, and again, I don't use the belt clip on this. I just kind of use this as a carrying sheath, or like, I have this in a tool kit kind of situation, or I have it next to my fire. I just use the sheath to protect the blade and protect other people from accidentally hurting themselves on it, right? It's got like, anyway, this sheath is actually practical. You can put this on your belt pretty easily. This sheath here, or the clip for it, not very practical. It's got like this button lock. This button here, I don't have the right kind of pants or belt for that. And I guess you could unclip it somehow, but it's very hard to unclip, I think. And it seems pretty, Again, I would never wear this on my belt anyway. I have plenty of other knives that I would wear on my belt before I would wear this. Um, but just as far as a cheap utility knife and something to cover up the blade, it's absolutely fine. The handle here, the finger protection is a little bit bigger here, and I got to say that this guy is just a little bit heavier, which for a small fixed blade isn't a bad thing to have a little bit of weight or heft to it. And blades look identical to me, but let's go ahead and measure. Coming in at 3.5, yeah, about 3.5 inches. Overall, though, the Hultafors is coming in at 8 3/4, whereas the Mora is coming in at 8. So a little bit of a heftier handle, a bigger handle. And when I first took this out of the shipping bag, envelope, whatever, I noticed immediately that this was bigger. So this is definitely better for people with XL big hands. I have a full 4-finger grip on here. I do have big hands, so it's not that bad. But this definitely feels a little bit better. Just feels chunkier. Now this this polymer is textured, and that's great. The Mora, this black stuff is a little bit rubberized. I don't know if that's a word. So it feels really good in the hand. Maybe even a little bit better. Definitely a lot stickier in the hand. This is not going to slip as much as this, but then again, this is also because it's textured so well. I think it's absolutely fine. Yeah, it's really hard for me to say, which one I think is better. This one's a little bit thicker. It's got more of an acute angle, so it's probably going to be better for batoning. It's got more belly here in the point, so might be better for skinning in an emergency situation if this is what you had. I believe that just out of the box, I believe that this is going to be better for striking a spark with a ferro rod. This feels more rounded to me. Again, if I was going to be using this in a survival situation, I'd probably try to sharpen up the spine a little bit. This spine on the Mora is very rounded, and this, you actually have a little bit, some areas of it where it's nice and sharp on the spine. And Mora comes kind of shined up and dolled up, right? Kind of a reflective finish on it. Now, this has, of course, been used heavily, so it's very scuffed. I do like this belt finish more. It's got a two-tone belt finish, and I like that. The steels, it's very hard for me to tell. This one just says carbon. This one says high carbon or carbon steel. I believe that this is like a 1080. They might be both 1080. There's some kind of carbon steel, so they will rust. So don't, if you leave this out or you leave it in your truck, whatever, in a watery situation, a little bit of rust will get on these. I have no doubt, because it's a carbon steel, so you can't complain about that. It is what it is, and it's $15. Yeah, I can't think of anything that's bad about having one of these little guys around in your shed or wherever. It's definitely a hard use knife. Because of the tip, you can use it for prying. You can use it for breaking up kindling easily. This guy actually sits next to my fireplace, and I use it for that exact thing, for splitting open some wood. So yeah, overall, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad I have both. Let me just say that. Now, I've used the crap out of this one. Now I'm going to use the crap out of this one, and I will give you a full review of it later. This is just first impressions. I will say, though, my first impressions are this is an awesome deal. One of the best deals you can get. So I will do a full review of this like in a couple of months after I've used it hardcore. I've already done a review of the Mora, and I think the Mora is an excellent knife. So yeah. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. Really appreciate it. If you could leave a comment down below, I'd really also appreciate it, because it really helps out the channel. Also, if you want to win a knife, you can click down below, and you can enter for $3 a month. You can enter to win a knife. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll see you next time on Sharp Ends. Bye-bye now.